So today we're going to talk about why corporate loyalty will not save anyone. Not me, not you. Doesn't matter how many credentials you have, how much money you make, how smart you are. It doesn't matter. You will get clipped when it comes to corporations. That's a fact. Look at what happened with Jaylen Brown, right? He led the Celtics to an NBA championship, won it. He was sixth in the MVP rankings this year. He literally has the highest win percentage in won games. Like he won the most amount of games since being in the league as anybody who's been in the league as long as him, right? And yet he still got traded. This is a graduate from like a really prestigious school. I'll put a screenshot up of wherever he graduated from, but like whether it's talent, they gave him $300 million, and he's very intelligent, and they still clipped him. Mind you, Jayson Tatum was on the bench pretty much the entire season, and somehow he still got to stay here. But that's not why we're here today. Neither is my love for basketball, right? I might love basketball, but I wanted to use this topic to talk to the independent creators, the people who are tired of the corporate space, people who are tired of capitalism, and just being on the losing end of being loyal, right? Because the one thing that I took away from this was like, man, he gave everything to the Boston Celtics. He got them wins and everything. And at the end of the day, I can hear some of y'all saying, well, it's just business. This is the name of the business. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take y'all's word for that, right? Like the NBA literally has no heart. Like no matter how much you give them, they still just treat you like a commodity, like something that you could easily just trade away. Like just it blew my mind. So that's what we're going to talk about today is how corporations aren't going to save you no matter how many credentials you had. Like I said before, I mean, they literally been shopping him in the public eye for several months now with no remorse. Like imagine how embarrassing that would be if you were working at a job and when you were coming in, everybody was talking about how your job was trying to get rid of you. So we're going to talk about what it looks like to be a disposable worker, number one, because to all of these corporations, we're all disposable. Number two, we're going to talk about no matter how many credentials you have, it really don't matter, right? It's like you can't get away from being expendable. And number three, we're going to talk about why you need to just build your own, right? Like Jaylen Brown is actively building his own media platform. He be going live on streaming platforms, and he even be sending shots at Stephen A. Smith, who, I'll be honest, isn't one of my favorite people in commentary. But let's get into the deep dive. So let's get this straight, right? I'm not here to talk about basketball. Let's recenter this conversation. The main thing I want to talk about today is if someone were $300 million with a super prestigious degree and has actually led their corporation to the highest achievement possible can get cut. What do you think that means for you, right? Like I remember studying how long CEOs or chief executives or like the C-suite executives at companies are like placed in the positions that they're in. They're no more than 3 to 4 years. Who would have imagined that, right? Like the people who literally add the most value to a corporation can still get cut any day. And me being an independent creator and building it from the ground up, I'm not saying that it's a luxury. I'm not saying that you don't need capital to start up because that's usually what a lot of people push back with. But let's be honest. Most people who have the comfort of getting a check predictably, they don't have any intentions of ever leaving that. So as insincere as that commentary is, I'm willing to mention it, but let's be honest. Most of the people who talk about that don't ever plan on leaving their job. I remember when Jaylen Brown said he was going to start Black Wall Street when he got that money. And I knew eventually this day was going to come. I was like, there's no way that they're going to keep him. And I really resonate with Jaylen Brown, right? Because he really pushes back against all the norms. He has his own voice. He has his own shoe. He turned down a Nike endorsement. And he still wins. He still plays at the highest level. I would argue that he's the most talented two-way guard in the league right now, which just means a shooting guard who also, dribbles and passes the ball and stuff. So it's like, I actually really resonate with him because I'm one of the most talented people in my circle. But I'll be honest, when you're not compliant with the system, they're going to push back on you. So even with him being at one of the most notably racist teams in the league, I mean, you can go to Boston and they literally didn't even know who he was when he was walking around in a crowd, even though he provided all that value. And I mean, if you look at the stands in Boston, it's a dead giveaway, but you can even look up the stories where, people blatantly call people the N-word mid-game at the free throw line, right? So it's a tough place to play. And, they're always known for winning and stuff. So they don't really have too much reason to, what's the word I'm looking for? Tolerate, losing culture, but they were winning the whole time. So what was really the reason why Jaylen Brown got so much pushback was because he was an independent thinker, he was an independent businessman, and on top of that, he was a winner. You know what I'm saying? No one could stop him. We got to stop looking for validation from these corporations, right? Like, aside from the whole basketball thing, it's like, it's more important to have your own network, right? Like, I have my own Substack that I talk my own talk, I say what I want to say, and I monetize it as well, right? And it's not nothing wrong with having a platform, right? Who wouldn't want to go to the NBA? I found out the other day that literally a little bit over 5,000 people have ever made it to the NBA in NBA history. And let's be honest, I would say the first 20 years of the NBA weren't, based on talent. It was literally whoever was willing to just show up and play basketball until, till we showed up. So just saying, man, it's like, hasn't been that competitive the entire time. So it was literally me thinking of it in a sense of like, if I was going to have something of value and a talent to offer, I would rather own it than be a part of something that could just make me expendable or just let me go at any moment. Plus, like, I mean, $300 million, that's not even the biggest contract out right now. I mean, the NBA is paying people a lot of money. And lately, the culture of the NBA has been a lot less loyal. Like, when you look at some of the players, not, Paul George, who got traded, this is about the 5th or 6th team he's been on, I believe. And, it's all about who can get the biggest deal now. Like, no one's really loyal to a team. They're loyal to themselves. So that is something that initially I was a little bit like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that players were willing to go anywhere because I like to see dynasties. I like to see teams get established. But then I started realizing the culture of the NBA, and I said, you know what, guys, make sure y'all get y'all money because the NBA is not going to take care of you no matter how many billions and billions of dollars that y'all make them every single year. They're still going to treat you like a commodity. Even with the platform that I've built called Newports and News, it's like I do deals and stuff with people. We publish their stories in our Substack. It's literally only like $8 a month, and we keep the majority of the proceeds. So if you want to dive deeper into like commentary about cultural stuff like this, and like it's in podcast form, there's some really dope articles up there. Like, if this is something that you've been watching this long, I'm sure you will love it there. And it's free. There's a free version as well, right? You can subscribe for free, and if you like it, then you can support more. And then that's where you can have like more deeper conversations with me, make suggestions on topics that you want me to dive deeper on, and literally just be a part of making independent media more sustainable so that we don't have to go to people who literally get paid to talk about stuff just because they get paid to talk about stuff. I definitely don't get paid to talk about this. So let's get into the harder part of this conversation, right? This is the higher level, right? Because this is an evident systemic issue, right? Where the majority of the owners in the NBA are non-black people, predominantly white, and the majority of the players are black, right? And the players don't get any equity in the team. And it's a direct reflection of how the work market is, right? Just like these players are treated like workers and the owners are pretty much like the owners of the corporations and the CEOs and stuff. It's the same way for us as workers in the regular world, right? For black men, white men are 2 times more likely to be employed. And the unemployment for black men is twice as much currently than white men. I believe white men is about 4%, and black men's unemployment rate is just under, if not above, 8%. So that's not due to a lack of work ethic. That's not due to a lack of education or anything, right? That's just due to systemic issues that still haven't been solved to this day, right? I mean, let's not get started on being a black woman. Black women get paid the least, even though they're the most educated and the most, attended at college, right? So a lot of people usually come in my comments and try to give me backlash on, why you're just being a victim, or why, none of this stuff matters, TJ. We live in America and you can get stuff done. But it's like, it's in the numbers, guys. Have y'all looked at any research lately about how unjust the work field is? I heard Donald Trump say the other day that people needed to get jobs. This is coming from someone who's never had a job, right? Have you ever noticed that people who never have a job are the ones who are really quick to say how much harder you should work, but they've never worked hard for anything? And I'll be honest, a lot of these people are a part of what I call the puppet class, right? They get paid just enough money to try to manage the people who aren't making any money. And that's why I love Jaylen Brown the most, because no matter how much they paid him, he still spoke up about the truth. He still sent shots right at Stephen A. Smith for having poor takes and poor research and literacy around the subjects that he talks about. Like, man, Stephen A. Smith is what we would call a special kind of animal that goes through dumpsters, right? But I can't say it on here because essentially it's going to get me flagged. So my point is, speaking truthfully and being powerful doesn't mix, man. Like, when they give you power, you have to be compliant. And when I say power, I mean, money, capital, access to certain rooms and resources. They're usually looking forward to you being more manageable. And then in terms for you to keep getting that money, you got to manage the people who want to break the system, challenge the system, get paid more for their labor, right? It's your job to make sure you influence them to not want more. And I get a lot of that pushback on my content as well, right? Where people literally want you to not want more. It's the most weird thing ever. I mean, just think about it, right? If someone can give you $300 million and you still don't have any ownership of the IP there, right? You don't own any jerseys, you don't own any of the stadium stuff, you don't own anything, and you can't invest in it. That says a lot about why they build it this way. Why don't they want the players to get equity in the teams? Why, when you win an NBA ring, that if you bring a significant amount of money to the city, right, and the team, that you don't get an additional check, an additional bonus? It's because to them, it's just a business, right? They want to use you because they know they'll make money off of you, right? And so this is the difference between having actual power and just living luxury, right? A lot of basketball players, unfortunately, they just live a life of luxury, but they don't have any power over their lives. They can't even say stuff. I remember there was some guy on the Bulls who said something about being Christian, and he got cut within that week, right? So you can't say anything that you want to say. You can't do anything you want to do. And you can't go anywhere you want to go. You can barely help anyone that you want to help. But you got a lot of money and you can buy stuff and usually just spend it back with the same exact people who paid you on a corporate level, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of these owners own the same brands and the same products that we buy every single day. They own stocks and all of that stuff. So I'm sure we're just giving the money right back to them. I was talking to a friend about Amazon and I'm like, I see people driving their own car to deliver Amazon packages. I'm more than sure a large percentage of the people who work at Amazon shop at Amazon. Isn't that crazy that you're literally working a business that gets paid and then you buy the products from the place you work at and you don't get any of the products? None. But shouts out to Philadelphia. No shade to Jayson Tatum either. He's a pretty good player. And I would have think that he would have stuck up for his friend a little bit more, man. Like, that he would have fought for his guy. But, maybe he's just loyal to the money as well. And, I will say that I am looking forward to seeing what he does in Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure he'll bring a lot of value there. And just like, being here, leave a comment. What do you think? What do you think about the trade? What do you think about the NBA? And if nothing else, check the comments. I pinned the Substack there so that y'all can jump right over there and subscribe and learn more about what I do and the more cultural commentary that we build together. You know what I mean? So I'll see you soon.